guys do that?
I mean, I don't know. Like, we don't really do that.
No. Why not?
There's been one family reunion I'm aware of in my family history, and I was in elementary school, and we met in Ohio, actually.
Oh, cool.
There was
Why?
a family reunion in Ohio.
Why
Was it Ohio? Or was it Minneapolis? It was Minneapolis. I came to a 50th. No, that
Very
was Minneapolis
different.
too.
Like, you can't be more different.
Anyway,
Yeah.
it was just my mom's side of the family. I don't know.
Does that side get together more than other sides?
No.
Oh.
Like that, it was a rare thing for them.
Oh, okay.
So anyway,
Is that something you want your kids to do more? Like that? Are you trying to do that moving forward more?
I guess I'm not that invested in family reunions. I just want my kids to like each other. How about that?
Why not?
I don't care about cousin Jimmy or whatever. I mean, I care about him, but
Yeah.
I want them to love their cousins. But I think culturally, family reunions is not as much of a thing.
Yeah.
Anyway, if you have a family reunion, get your shirts from Scranton Road Promotional Marketing.
Yes.
So now do your thing. You bossing me around.
I did. I was asking you questions. Thank you. Overtime, we were talking about should Christians have friends of the opposite gender? And we talked about it both for single Christians and married Christians.
And we also talked about the
Asian American.
and whether or not race was a primary or even secondary motivator
Yeah.
in that mass shooting in Atlanta. Hello to Aunt Twee. Always
She
good to see you, Aunt
loves
Twee.
you.
Hopefully we take a Minnesota trip this year so I can see Aunt Twee in person. Maybe I'll post. Then I can post a
that's
picture on
cool.
Overtime
That would be
so
fun.
everybody can see me hanging out with Aunt Twee.
Yeah, she loves you.
I mean, do you blame her?
Was anything left
You
unsaid?
just keep going.
Do I blame her? Well, actually, I don't, because you didn't grow up around her, so she doesn't.
She doesn't have to like me.
really- And
She's
she
my
didn't-
wife's aunt.
That's true.
She only
That's
has
another
to
way
tolerate.
Lori, Eva, what's up? Oh, Mike is here. Tiffany, what's up, Tiffany? And Tammy.
So it's follow-up Friday. What do you want to follow up on from maybe this week in Overtime or the show? Maybe you want to call her out for something crazy she said.
Fred's gonna get you. Oh no, that's not the Fred I was talking about. Did you see the Fred on Facebook?
Oh.
There's a Fred out there getting me on Facebook?
Oh, yes.
You saw that?
Yes.
And then he put
What'd
it
I
on a
do?
post about Lecrae.
What did I do wrong?
He wasn't getting you, but he usually disagrees with you. I'm gonna show you. And he sounds like way smarter than you, by the way.
Probably is. I mean, what?
It was talking. He has issues with
You?
Lecrae.
And also the parlor shooting conversation.
He went on there too.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what it was. Yeah, and okay.
Hopefully he's being nice. I don't know, Fred. I'm sure
He's
a nice
on
guy.
there. I've seen him a lot, and
Where you going? You passed it.
I did.
This is like every day. I'm like, hey, check out that text message. And she'll scroll down from like 2 weeks ago. I'm like,
Where is it?
Janelle.
Oh,
There's
here,
that
here.
one.
There's a
Yeah.
picture of Lecrae that you passed, I recall. seeing.
So here, this is pure nonsense. This is Ed Stetzler's take. He doesn't agree with.
I think he was also calling out Lecrae for something, but I don't know if it's valid, or I don't know more information about that.
Yeah, but he has a lot of issues with Ed Stetzer.
Now, he's making a whole lot of things against Ed Stetzer, so
And
he
then
can
the
take it up
Lec-
with Ed. It's not my
the
fault. I happen to like Ed Stetzer, and I respect him, so we don't have to
The
agree on that.
Lecrae one is right. Oh, I guess not. So there are a lot of reactions to the conversations we had this week. We talked about the Atlanta mass shootings and and as a believer, should we pick a side? Did we cover it correctly yesterday? Brian came up with like 8 questions we can ask ourselves, including, did we talk about it too soon? Is it okay to say it wasn't racially motivated, but we should be concerned about Asian American assaults and racism going on recently?
Or we could shift gears completely and discuss Aunt Twee's question, what's not to love about Brian?
All right, let me.
That'd be a short discussion.
Let me get the list.
That'd be a short discussion. We finished that one. Now
Oh
we can move on.
yeah. Mike says, "Oh, don't open that bag of worms." Lauren's here. Woo!
She always does this because one time I awkwardly, unintentionally, on an overtime, was like, hey, like kind of weird. she like grabbed a screenshot of it and like sent it to me. Like, what is wrong
You
with
look
you?
weird.
So she does that
Wow.
to remind me every time that it was like,
That is funny.
I know what you're doing, Lauren. I know what you're doing.
Aw. She's probably taking care of her baby boy. So we also talked about relationships between men and women in friendships as a believer. What other things did we not get to that you wanted to talk about? The pastor.
Your
Oh
problems?
my gosh. Remember? I don't have a lot of those.
Yeah, the cupcake pastor.
Yeah.
They just put down the cupcakes and at least try to get a participation award if you're not going to be a trophy
so
wife.
Messed up. But then you had said after that talk and the day after too, you were wondering, is what he said true? Just said it incorrectly.
Well, the question I asked was close to that. It was those same points have been made by women to women. So does that make what he said wrong or the fact that he said it wrong? You see what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, isn't there a context in which the right kind of like fun Christian speaker that's a woman could say that to women? And you guys would
Yeah.
laugh, be like, yeah, try to at least get your participation trophy if you're not going to be put down the cupcakes and. But
I can
women
see
say that to each other,
Yeah, I can see that. But
he shouldn't say it.
if I'm going to accept that from a woman, I would have to know that she's coming from a position of we should both do that for each other. And how we shouldn't be letting ourselves go just because, well, I got her. Because men do that, and that's not fair.
But aren't there contexts? I agree with you. But aren't there contexts in which women speak to women
Yeah,
about
there are.
women's issues?
Yeah.
And so you wouldn't have to have a woman go, by the way, of course, men have to do this too.
Right.
Because that's
Oh,
the
yeah,
presumption
yeah,
in
yeah.
the discussion.
Yeah.
I think, of course, he was the wrong person to do it. I just want to be fair in that let's not pretend like this conversation isn't happening somewhere.
Yeah, but I think the pushback that I have is that you said that's the presumption, but the church has communicated it like it's a woman's job to please a man,
Yeah.
because a man's visual, because a man, like, you got to satisfy his sexual needs. Even Dr. Julie Slattery has said women have sexual needs too, and we need to communicate the same thing to men. Sex isn't just making sure he's taken care of, and the church is guilty of that, and that's where he was kind
All
of
good
coming from.
points, yeah.
Well, men, they need, God created them. I think all of that was a bunch of mess that the church has been kind of pushing.
Can't argue with that.
Miss Anita says this was a good discussion today. Francie wants to know.
That's actually a really good question. Demographics and cultural trends in a city than it does anything else. So for 8 years, and the commute starts technically probably at like 4:30 in the morning,
Wow, that's crazy.
but people are definitely on the road at 5 going to work. Okay? In Northeast Ohio, the highways are generally empty until around 6. And that has part to do with population. In Chicago, if you don't get on the road by 3, you're going to be stuck in traffic in the afternoon. And in the morning, traffic, if you're on the road at 6, you're going to get stuck in traffic. And there's people who are driving literally an hour and a half one way to get where they're going. And no one is driving that far around here. That's the exception here. A lot of people have like a 20 to 30 minute commute or less. And so we don't need to start at 5 because of the audience size. It makes more sense for us to hit the large group of people from 6 to 9. And Jannelle's a wimp.
Oh, you think we could talk for that long? Whew, it's a lot of talking. What do you think?
I'm also a wimp too. But,
They talk for 4 hours? Is it live
well,
talk?
a lot of times if you listen, because there's other shows that do 4-hour shows. Like a lot
No,
of
my
shows.
sister does 5 on TV. So, I mean,
TV
you
is
could.
different. And
But she even says they switch it up. So it's like 3 hours of like news, and then basically in some hours of fun. And she's like, it's balanced. So it's not like
And they
You
do
know?
the same stories a number of times.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah.
So a lot of other morning shows in this area will go till 10 a.m. They go 6 to 10.
Oh.
But if you listen to their last hour, it's throwaway. Play extra music. They hardly talk about anything.
Well, actually, I know that those shows, that hour is not even live.
A lot
It's
of them are
recorded.
recorded. A lot of them are recorded. So I forget what I was going to say.
About TV's different, and you were like, you could do.
4-hour radio morning shows.
Got his
like
back. I should get a raise.
You should, girl.
in the Chicago morning show, as I recall, at least when I was there, a lot of it would be the 5 o'clock hour and the 8 o'clock hour were almost identical.
Oh.
In fact, before the Boom Crew, the program before that, it was literally carbon copy, because you assumed that people listening at from 5 to 6 a.m. were not the same people listening from 8 to 9.
Yeah.
So you literally do the same topics over again.
Oh,
You
yeah.
re-air the same interview over again. So, long story short, we do it best. Thanks.
Yeah! Woo! That's what I'm saying. We
But-
should go national.
But we love our friends, Carl and Allie.
Oh, yeah, they're awesome.
And Thunderboy or what Thunder?
Young Thunder.
Young Thunder.
And isn't that
all them.
Sputnik? There you go. So Callie, what's up, Callie on YouTube? Lots of people on YouTube. If you're not subscribed, hit the bell, get notified when we throw out new episodes of Overtime. Subscribe to our YouTube channel, and then tell your friends. Share us on your Facebook pages and Instagram. She says good morning. She said, Kelly, I saw this post on Instagram about his statement. I think it was Lecrae. Yeah. Callie also says all of these topics were good. I missed the one about the shooting in Atlanta. Absolutely sad news. And we were just saying whether or not it was racially motivated, how we as believers should sympathize and come around our Asian American friends, especially in the last year. That's super messed up. And it's more than assaults physical. It's people yelling stuff out at people. We actually had a few times, remember last summer, where it was happening locally. I know in my district it's happened, where people get things yelled at because of the Kung flu or the pandemic.
My cousin Jenny has had stuff yelled at her. So
this past year, it's crazy.
Well, I don't know about this past year, but she has in the past.
Lori says, there are a lot of people on the road at 5, Brian, but more at 6. There are a lot of people who drive an hour to get to Cleveland. Cleveland Clinic main campus. I have one coworker who drives 90 minutes. He works at nights. It takes me about 30.
Yeah, and again, Lori, I love you. I know there's exceptions to what I was telling you. It's commonplace in Chicago for many people to drive over an hour one way to work.
Yeah.
That is not the norm in Cleveland.
No, it's not.
Doesn't mean that people don't do it. It's just not the norm.
And Rob, Kelly should get a raise too. He liked when Kelly was like, yeah, you should, girl. It's right. A raise.
Representing, supporting.
Oh, man. Sarah says, thank you for today's show. It was great. At least the part I heard 8 to 9. So.
It was.
Yeah, it was.
You're like, yeah, it's great. I was being silly. You're like, yeah, no, it was great.
I was trying to remember things we said.
It was like a few minutes ago.
That's how it works. This conversation actually reminded me of a call we had before of a woman talking about her friendship with a man and how you like stopped and called it out like, yo, you got to be careful. You know how sometimes friendships are disguised and how it can just be an entrapment it can be a danger. But again, we mentioned Dr. Julie Slattery's encouragement about growing in discernment, and you should know. I think a lot of times we know. Like we know. Like you said, when you're hiding your phone.
That's right.
Or when you had a conversation and you don't mention it. In your head.
If you'd be uncomfortable with your spouse knowing what you're saying or what you wrote, then you got a problem.
Yeah.
And which is why there needs to be boundaries and we need to be cautious and all that. But again, our only point and Julie's only point was, if you follow the Billy Graham rule, great. It doesn't mean it needs to be the rule for everyone. That's legalism.
Yeah. Alrighty, y'all. It is time to go.
We out. Have a great weekend.
Make sure to check out the podcast at 10. New episode.
And
Peace out.
what should Rob do this weekend?
Rob should go and look back at some of the things that Brian said today, especially, and just email us with things that you know he needs to be corrected on. Thank you, Rob. Anything else you think he should? He knows his stuff. He was correcting us yesterday during the financial hour.
So if someone
He
corrects
works for
us,
the Social Security. What do you do?
so nothing. if somebody corrects us, it means they're right.
He's right. You be knowing stuff, brother. And not only does he correct you, but he sends support. Did you see yesterday? He was like, "Why y'all doing this?" And then boom, sent you an article.
I
Dang.
think that we should
Smart
have Rob's wife come on
Oh, she's tired.
and decide if he knows everything.
Oh my God. You would have her on? So that's the challenge, Rob. On Monday, have Marcy call and talk about how intelligent
Hey,
and
this is
how
Marcy.
smart-
I'd like you to know Rob's always right. He's never been wrong in our
Are
marriage.
you mad? Are you mad
No,
that
I'm
he
not.
challenges you?
No, I love Rob.
Right. Thank you,
Rob's
Rob.
Rob's my guy. I love Rob. He's great.
Yes.
He's just not always right.
Oh, Callie, I see you. I have been learning how to set up boundaries in my marriage. I'm someone who struggled with this in the past. I did too, early on, in our first few years. So that's good that you're growing in that. And I think a lot of it is getting to know our spouse. And
Rob's
where-
probably talking junk.
You ain't the boss of us. That's what he said. That's right. Rob's about time somebody tells Brian. My mom is here. Hi, Mommy. You better straighten up.
Your mom loves me. She's still mad at you for taking my pastelitos.
Again? Wow.
I don't think you've ever been sorry about it.
No.
All I know is
Can you believe your daughter? She didn't listen to you. Milagros, she never listened to you.
She don't. I do what I want to do. Mommy knows.
That is not the woman you raised.
What?
You're gonna get it.
Wait. I want to see what people are saying. Yo, look, I can't get on. Look, see?
It's because you got problems.
Oh, wait. Don't. Okay, good. Oh! I was about to say something. Wait,
We gotta go.
wait.
Can we go?
Okay. Well, Rob, I know you're talking junk. I wish I could read it. Oh, wait. Lori says, you don't want to get up an hour early, Brian? Thank you.
No, I don't.
And look, I told you, my mom's laughing at you. Look, laughing at you.
Laughing
Mike
at
said,
you.
Thank you, at you. All right, bye, guys. Have a good week.